We welcome all who seek the meaning of life and who believe that human spirituality is wider than any one tradition and deeper than any one set of opinions. With a respect for our Christian origins, we seek to explore all truths from all sources. Our fellowship gives us strength and encouragement in daily living. As I light our chalice today, I would like to acknowledge the passing of Elizabeth II. Whatever your views on the Queen and the monarchy, I'd like to invite us to spend a moment reflecting on the passing of a significant figure and the momentous change that this represents, both personally for the royal family and nationally and globally. As I light the chalice, I'm going to read a hymn on the death of Queen Elizabeth II, written by poet Andrew Pratt. Once a woman heard a message telling of her father's death, spinning life round on a pinhead, causing her to catch her breath. From that day, a life of service, putting others first of all, meant a change of her direction, yet she saw this as God's call. Celebrate her tour of duty, duty built on faith and love. Ceaseless run since her accession, life committed, hand in glove. Even though some question kingship, all would witness covenant grace, promise made, tasks undertaken, never knowing what she'd face. So we stand commemorating one we seek to recognize, grown in wisdom, dedication, rest and peace, her final prize. Now, whatever our perspective, may we be forever bound in communion with our neighbours, finding grace on heaven's ground. By Andrew Pratt. I'll invite us to just take a moment before we sing our first hymn, just to reflect. So we're going to explore music through poetry. Well, I've collected together a few poems, some classic, some new, about music and its impact. And we'll also have a couple more hymns and some musical interludes to give us the chance to sit, enjoy some music, relax with it and reflect. Hans Christian Andersen once said, "Where words fail, music speaks." Brian, if you're with us and you have your poem, would you like to read yours, please?
When Soft Voices Die by Shelley. Music, when soft voices die, vibrates in the memory. Odors, when sweet violets sicken, live within the sense they quicken. Rose leaves, when the rose is dead, are heaped for the beloved's bed. And so thy thoughts, when thou art gone, love itself shall slumber on.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much, Brian. That was by Percy Bysshe Shelley. It's entitled To... ... No one knows who it's to. It's otherwise entitled Music When Soft Voices Die. Now I'd like to invite Jane to come up and read her poem. Thank you, Jane.
Right, this is a poem by Elizabeth Bishop entitled, I Am in Need of Music. I am in need of music that would flow over my fretful, feeling fingertips, over my bitter, tainted, trembling lips, with melody deep, clear and liquid slow. Oh, for the healing, swaying, old and low, of some song sung to rest the tired dead, a song to fall like water on my head, and over quivering limbs, dream flushed to glow. There is a magic made by melody, a spell of rest and quiet breath and cool heart that sinks through fading colours deep to the subaqueous stillness of the sea and floats forever in a moon-green pool held in the arms of rhythm and of sleep.
A Musical Instrument by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. What was he doing, the great god Pan, down in the reeds by the river? Spreading ruin and scattering ban, splashing and paddling with hoofs of a goat, and breaking the golden lilies afloat with the dragonfly on the river. He tore out a reed, the great god Pan, from the deep cool bed of the river. The limpid water turbidly ran, and the broken lilies a-dying lay, and the dragonfly had fled away ere he brought it out of the river. High on the shore sat the great god Pan, while turbidly flowed the river, and hacked and hewed as a great god can, with his hard bleak steel at the patient reed, till there was not a sign of a leaf indeed, to prove it fresh from the river. He cut it short, did the great god Pan. How tall it stood in the river. Then drew the pith, like the heart of a man, steadily from the outside ring, and notched the poor dry empty thing in holes as he sat by the river. This is the way, laughed the great god Pan, laughed while he sat by the river. The only way since gods began to make sweet music they could succeed. Then, dropping his mouth to a hole in the reed, he blew in power by the river. Sweet, 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 O Pan, piercing sweet by the river. Blinding sweet, O great god Pan. The sun on the hill forgot to die, and the lilies revived, and the dragonfly came back to dream on the river. Yet half a beast is the great god Pan, to laugh as he sits by the river, making a poet out of a man. The true gods sigh for the cost and pain, for the reed which grows nevermore again as a reed with the reeds in the river. By Elizabeth Barrett Browning in 1860, the year before her death. I'd like to invite Louise now to come up and share something that Sue Woolley wrote about the passing of the Queen. Thank you.
This is A Time of Change and Grief. It's written by Reverend Sue Woolley, who is our current Vice President of the General Assembly of Unitarian and Free Christian Churches. It was written this Friday. As regular followers of this blog will know, it is my habit to base it around a quotation from the Harrenberg calendar, which I buy at the beginning of each year. This week's quotation is so apposite for the events of this week, it gave me goosebumps. Albert Schweitzer wrote, "Power makes no noise, it is there and it works." It is the end of an era. The Queen died on Thursday, the 8th of September, after more than 70 years on the throne. She was a power that was there and worked. As several BBC commentators pointed out, she was the one fixed and stable point in a rapidly changing world, and her passing is going to be unsettling at best. I am not and never have been an ardent monarchist, but I have always respected the Queen. I cannot help admiring her long and unwavering commitment to her royal role right to the end. 2 days before she passed, she received both Boris Johnson and Liz Truss at Balmoral to mark the change of Prime Minister, spending about 30 minutes with each. Her high sense of duty was admirable. Only people over the age of 35 will have any real memory of life before she came to the throne in 1953. Although my best friend, who is 71, remembers the pomp and ceremony of the coronation in 1953. It is the end of an era indeed. Prime ministers come and go, as do governments, but the Queen was a constant, stabilising presence above the political fray. She was a superb stateswoman and ambassador for this country, which may be judged by the generous, heartfelt tributes which have been pouring in from all over the world. I was not fortunate enough to meet her in person, but I did meet Princess Anne, who shares her mother's dedicated work ethic and her ability to pay attention to others wherever she is. And the Queen was much loved by her people. I am glad she was able to experience the Platinum Jubilee so that she could see for herself the affection the people of this country have for her. But we cannot wish her back. I am glad for her. I think the heart went out of her when her beloved husband passed. She was the Queen, but she was also a mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, aunt and cousin, and let us hope that all of her family will have the time and space they need to grieve in private. As for the rest of us, the sense of loss is real. We wish King Charles all the best as he steps into the role of monarch. He has a good role model to follow. Spirit of life and love. In this time of loss and sadness, we come together as a community to mark the end of the days of Queen Elizabeth II, to honour and celebrate her life, to mourn her passing, to hold her loved ones in their grief, and to find strength from one another for the days ahead in which she will no longer be present. May our Unitarian community help us to accept the mystery of life and death, and to go forth into the future, consoled and strengthened. May it be so.
Thank you, Louise, and thank you to Sue for writing and sharing that piece. I'll read one more poem before we have our next musical interlude. This is Music by Charles Baudelaire from 1857. Music uplifts me like the sea and races me to my distant star. Through veils of mist or through ethereal spaces, I sail on it afar. With chest flung out and lungs like sails inflated, into the depth of night, I scale the backs of waves serrated, that darkness veils from sight. I feel vibrating in me the emotions that storm-tossed ships must feel. The fair winds and the tempests and the oceans sway my exultant keel. Sometimes a vast dead calm with glassy stare mirrors my dumb despair. Translated by Roy Campbell. I'll share one final poem, a final ode to music and to song. The Gift to Sing by James Weldon Johnson. Sometimes the mist overhangs my path, and blackening clouds about me cling. But oh, I have a magic way to turn the gloom to cheerful day. I softly sing. And if the way grows darker still, shadowed by sorrow's sombre wing, with glad defiance in my throat, I pierce the darkness with a note and sing and sing. I brood not over the broken past, nor dread whatever time may bring. No nights are dark, no days are long, while in my heart there swells a song, and I can sing.